All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a great summer. Hopefully this weather continues well into September. In today's video, I want to talk about onions. Now, as most of you probably know, you can regrow onions from cutting the tops off of green onions, putting the bottoms into water, and having them root. In fact, here in my garden, all the clumps of green onions that you see around in each of the beds, that's all come from store-bought onions that I've simply regrown. And for the past 4 years, I've never actually had to buy a green onion, and I'll probably never buy one again. But did you know that you could apply that same technique to regrowing a store-bought green onion to a regular bulb onion? Neither did I. Let's see if this works. So regrowing your store-bought green onions is simple. You would take your green onion, bunch that you buy from the store, you cut it right here, you use the green shoots, and then you take this little bulb, which wouldn't have these roots on it, and place it in water. And about a week later, they start to regrow. And then you put these into pots or into garden beds, and boom, you've got brand new green onions for free. So I got a bucket of regular Walla Walla yellow onions. Let's see if we can do the same thing with these guys. So to do this, you're only going to need a couple things. You're going to need a sharp knife. Obviously, you're going to need your onions to cut and regrow. And then you're going to need your containers filled with water. So to start these guys off, you're going to want to take your onion here, and you're going to want to cut off the last 1/4 of where the roots are. Now on the onion, there's two different sides. You've got your shoot. This would have been growing out of the ground here. And on this side, you've got your roots, and that would have been in the ground. So it's very clear to see which end to cut off, and you want the end of where the roots came from. So just want to cut 1/4. Make a nice clean cut. I'll do that with the other guys. And you just want to guess it, you don't have to measure it. There we go. So you still have these guys, which will go back in the fridge. Or maybe I'll cut them up for a Greek salad tonight. But for the purpose of this video, this is what we're after. Now, I read that you take off this first layer of papery peel simply because when you put it in your container of water, apparently those peels tend to rot. So should come off pretty easy. Now you don't want to peel these roots off. Just the paper peel. Okay. So now we're ready for the next step. So you've got your containers, filled with water. The next step is simply to put them root down inside these containers. Now you want to make sure that the bottom part is submerged. It's got to come into contact with the water for these guys to start growing the roots. So this guy here, not deep enough. I'll add a bit more water. Oh, a little bit messy. That's all right. We're in the greenhouse. We're allowed to be messy. There we go. So let's leave these guys for 4 or 5 days. We'll come back and we'll check out the progress. All right, so it's been 3 days. Let's have a look at how our onions are doing. this guy up. Oh, look at that. Brand new white roots. Very cool. What about this guy? Oh, one little white root there. And how's this guy doing? Yeah, just starting some new roots. Now those brown strands, they're not roots. They're the old roots. Let's see this guy. Nothing there yet. Oh, no, wait. Just at the top there. A couple little new nodules coming through. Very cool. And of course, the green onions, which I did a couple days before, these guys are ready for planting. So I'm just going to go ahead and change these guys' water and check back in a few days. Okay guys, we're on day 5. Let's have a look at how our onions are doing. Oh, wow. Look at that. Hey? Right on. What about this guy? Yeah. So they're all starting to get those white roots now. This guy's just got a couple nubs. Okay. And that guy. Right on. Okay, so we're going to give him a couple more days. I think I'd like to do a week total. We're at day 5 right now. So let's give these guys 2 more days, and then we'll plant them up. Okay, guys, so this is day 7. Now, the tops are starting to get a bit funky, but you can see the beginnings of green shoots coming out of the center. Okay, guys, so it's day 9. You can see 2 of the 4 onions are actually starting to grow green shoots right out of the top there. Seemingly out of nothing, because when you remember we cut them, it just looked like the inside of an onion. It didn't look like there was anywhere for them to grow. But sure enough, there they go. Very cool. So the only issue is the roots haven't done anything more, than they were doing on day 4 and 5. And so what I think is happening now is we've maxed out what can happen with these guys just sitting in water. So let's go ahead to the next step and let's plant these guys. So I'm actually going to grow these guys in the greenhouse. And I've got this 6 by 1.5 bed here that has my tomato plants in it, or some tomato plants. They go all the way up 14 feet high. But they only use, the outer 3 inches of the bed. So all along here, I can plant anything I want. So let's go ahead and plant these onions, no-till style, right on the surface of the bed. Okay, so we actually have a space here at the end of the bed. So I'm going to put all 4 onions right here. All we need to do is put down a layer of soil. Now, this isn't just regular compost, this is potting mix. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that every time I transplant a plant, I basically consider it a seedling. And so you always want to use a seedling mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and water this, and then we can plant our onions. All right, so we have a nice little landing pad for our onions. Let's just lie them right on top. Right. One there. One there. One there. And one there. Okay, so next step is to cover these guys with some more potting mix. Now, the ones with the green shoots here, let's leave those green shoots sort of not covered by the soil, okay? Just like a little seedling, you wouldn't bury the green parts. You wouldn't bury the shoots, so. Okay, just a thin layer of soil. Just gonna go ahead and give it a light watering, and then we're done. Just cover this guy up a bit. Okay. There we go. So it's day 9 now. Let's revisit these guys in a couple of days. All right, guys, so it's been about 12 days. You can see these guys are really coming on. And even this one guy over here that I thought was dead has sprouted up. Well, guys, there you have it. That's definitive proof for me that you can slice off the root end of an onion and actually regrow a new onion from it. It was a fairly easy process, but there was a couple things that I do differently. Now, over the course of 2 weeks, we had these guys in their little cups of water for about 10 days. Now, to me, that's much too long. I would have them in the water for maybe 3 to 4 days, or skip the water step completely and plant those ends right into moist soil. In my opinion, leaving those root tops in the water for too long actually did the process a disservice. I really think once you start to see little white root nodes develop, get it out of the water and get it into soil. I think not only will it speed up the process, but your rate of success should be much higher. I feel like that's the only difference, between these regular bulb onions and the green onions. The green onions, they seem to be able to grow in water almost until you can crop them again. And that's just simply not the case with these bulb onions. So that's it for today, guys. Always nice to learn something new. Nice to know that you can cut the root end off an onion bulb and actually grow a new onion from it. Cool stuff. As always, leave any questions or comments down below. Have you guys done this before? Have you done it a different way? Let us know. Click subscribe if you haven't already. For those of you that have, I really do appreciate the support. And I'll see you next time.